Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shaughnessy, and on this channel we discuss fragrance, beauty, and wellness. And if you simply like to have a good time and you like my vibe, subscribe. So you all, I'm so excited that I was able to get Very Good Girl, Carolina Herrera's newest flanker, latest flanker in the Good Girl line. So we're going to be talking about her today. But I said, I have the rest of the perfumes in the line, so I'm going to go over those a little bit because I have a whole other video talking about all the other good girls in this line. But to compare, to talk about the newest one, I wanted to discuss the predecessors also. So we're going to start with Good Girl, of course. This is described as an amber floral fragrance. It was released in 2016. And the top notes of Good Girl are almond, coffee, bergamot, and lemon. Middle notes are tuberose, jasmine, sambac, orange blossom, orris, and Bulgarian rose. Base notes are tonka bean, cacao, vanilla, praline, sandalwood, amber, musk, cashmere wood, cinnamon, patchouli, and cedar. Whoa! Every time I read the notes for this fragrance, there are so many. I mean, it's a ton of notes. So Good Girl Leger is the next release for this fragrance line. It is described as an amber floral. It was released in 2018, and the top notes are ylang ylang, mandarin orange, lemon, and bergamot. Middle notes, jasmine, tuberose, orange blossom, and Bulgarian rose. Base notes, dulce de leche, tonka bean, praline, cinnamon, sandalwood, cashmere wood, amber, musk, patchouli, and cedar. So a lot of notes in this one too. And this, I just love this shoe. This is my favorite one. I just love it. It always made me think of Cinderella. So the third fragrance in this line is Good Girl Supreme. I love this Stiletto 2, gorgeous with the glitter. This is described as an amber floral fragrance also. It was released in 2020. The top notes are forest fruits and Egyptian jasmine. Middle notes, tonka bean and tuberose, and the base note is vetiver. So really, really pared down with the notes starting with the Supreme fragrance. And last and certainly not least, and the newest edition and what we're here for today, is Very Good Girl. And this, I love the red Stiletto 2. Now this is described as a floral fruity fragrance. It was released this year, 2021, and the top notes are lychee and red currant. The middle note is rose, and the base notes are vanilla and vetiver. So this fragrance has the least amount of notes, and that is Very Good Girl. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to go too in depth about the other fragrances, but I do want to tell you what basically what I get from them, but just not in depth. So this Good Girl, to me, it's warm, spicy, and mysterious, like a seductive fragrance. And it took me a few years to purchase this, and to me, it still smells unique in the sense that I can't think of anything else that just smells like Good Girl to me. Yeah, so this is your kind of, like I said, warm, spicy, mysterious, seductive, fragrance to me. It doesn't smell very Good Girl. It kind of smells like, that, unless it's Good Girl with an edge. Let's go with that. And Good Girl Leger is your sweeter, creamier, more floral citrus version of Good Girl. This one, if you've watched my previous videos, it reminds me, in case you don't have this one, but you might have this other fragrance, Roberto Cavalli Gemma di Paradiso. And I think I did a comparison video on that also, which I will link above also. But yeah, this is your creamier, sweeter, more floral, very nice really enjoy it. Let me just say, I enjoy all of these fragrances. And Good Girl Supreme, this is to me Good Girl with berries, with fruit. It's the fruitier version of Good Girl. But it's not fruity as in, oh, I'm fruity and light. It's fruity with weight and depth, because it opens with that Good Girl with the berries to me, then it dries down in a very smooth, somewhat kind of smoky, vanilla kind of fragrance, but I love it. And the best way, the simple way to describe it to me, like I said, is your fruity. It's berry, Good Girl with berries added to it, but still, I would say playful, not as deep and dark as the original. Now, what we're here to talk about, this is Very Good Girl. And I got the 1 ounce of this because, so this is the one that, you know, this comes off. I got this at Ulta with my rewards, so I only paid a little bit over $2 for this. This is fruity, juicy, rosy fragrance with a slight smoky incense smell from the vetiver to me. This has great lasting power. It was 8+ hours for me. It's great projection, great sillage. And the reason why I know it is great projection and sillage, when I wore this to work to test it out, preparing for this video, I received a compliment. Someone came into my office. I had to sign some paperwork and he was waiting. And he was, as he was standing there, he was like, oh my goodness, it smells so good in here. And why I say that's the reason why I know it has great lasting power, projection, and sillage. I spray my fragrance before I leave for work. The last time, it's either a little bit before 7 or right at 7 is when I do my last sprays. And he came to my office. It was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I know no one's been in my office but me is going to be smelling, you know. So I know he was talking about me. So this is great lasting power, projection, and sillage, because like I said, I sprayed that at least before 7 a.m. or in the morning, and then, or at 7. And I was still smelling strong at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I hadn't watched or read any reviews before buying this and before test spraying it. So when I first sprayed this, immediately it gave me Delina vibes. And that shocked me because for so long I said there were no fragrances. You know, I don't have any fragrances from dupe houses of this. So there were no fragrances that from the designer range or even the niche range that I had in my collection or that I had just smelled reminded me of Delina. And now I have 2. I have Terry Mugler's Angel Nova that reminds me of the Delina and Delina exclusive. And now I have Very Good Girl that when I first sprayed this, I was like, oh my goodness, no. It reminds me of Delina. And I want to mention this also. I don't know what order I'm going to put these videos up in, but if I've already done my Delina video, the same perfumer did each Delina. And that fascinated me that it was the same perfumer for each one, because sometimes you just don't see, a lot of times you don't see that. So I wanted to check with Good Girl. It was the same perfumer for Good Girl, Good Girl Leger, Good Girl Supreme. Now it was the same perfumer also with Very Good Girl, but someone else was, there were 2 people that did this fragrance. And I mentioned that because this Very Good Girl is, to me, it doesn't have the Good Girl DNA. You know, if I'm familiar, if you're someone who's had Good Girl or any of the other fragrances from this line, you can tell that Good Girl Leger is a flanker. You can tell that Good Girl Supreme is a flanker. If you smelled all the fragrances in this line and you smell Good Girl, you smell Very Good Girl, you wouldn't think, oh, this is a flanker. Not at all, because as I was wearing this, it didn't make me think of any of the Good Girls in this line. I mean, not a one. It made me think gave me vibes of Delina, because this is not a dupe to me at all, but it does make me think of Delina. Now, after I wore it and after I smelled it, I did go to Fragrantica, and I read like a couple reviews, and the first one up there, I think it said, this is a poor man's version of Delina. Now, I wouldn't say that, because to me, it is a nice fragrance. I really, really, really love this and thoroughly enjoyed wearing it. But I have to say, to me, a flanker should have the same DNA. Something that reminds me of the original fragrance or the other flankers that preceded it. And this one doesn't at all. The only thing that it reminds me of is this, the packaging, the shoe. That's the reason why you would know it's a Good Girl flanker, because it does not have the DNA to me of this line at all. Now, talking about flankers, I always address the question, do you need this latest flanker? Do you need Very Good Girl? And this is such a departure from the Good Girl range that I don't even think it matters if you have all the others or if you have none of them. This is a standalone fragrance, in my opinion. You can't base your love on it, on the other fragrances in this line, because it doesn't remind me at all of the other fragrances in this line. So if you dislike all the fragrances, all the Good Girls, they've never worked for you, you can't say, oh, I'm not going to try this because I haven't liked any. It's such a departure. Try it if you hated all the others, because this is totally different. And vice versa, if you love all of the Good Girls in this line, you would still smell this, because for me, before I knew I didn't smell anything like it, if I like it, all the flankers, I want to keep continuing to purchase them or smell them up to a point. This one, I just love, but like I said, I can't say, which I never say you need a fragrance, but I can't say, oh yes, if you love the other Good Girls, you will like this. Or if you don't, you will like this. Because it's a totally separate standalone fragrance in the sense of this Good Girl perfume line. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and rank them. So coming in at number 4 would be the original Good Girl. This is a fragrance I enjoy wearing, but I don't know what it is. To me, I think some people have said it's like a monster projection fragrance. This has never, I don't think it has gotten me one compliment. I don't think so. I enjoy it, but I don't know if people are smelling it. I don't know. I like it, but this is number 4 for me. Number 3 would be Good Girl Supreme. I really do enjoy this one too. I can't remember if I've received a compliment on this. It's been a while since I've worn this fragrance, so I don't remember. But I do like that berry kind of fruity element to it. So this is number 3. Number 2 would be Good Girl Leger. I just really enjoy this fragrance. I love this packaging. I love this, my favorite shoe. And when I wear this fragrance, I really enjoy it. I think I have received compliments, or at least a compliment, while wearing this one. So this is number 2. And look, this rarely happens with me when I'm talking about flankers. But the newest flanker is number 1. And I'm kind of torn between making this my number 1, because it is not, in no way reminds me of any of the Good Girls. So I can't remember how I ranked these other 3 fragrances in this line, but I'll have my video either at some point, my review of the other 3 in this line linked up above, because you know your rankings change when you wear them depending on when you wear them, what you layer them with. So but now this is number 1, but like I said, I don't feel like I'm giving a true number 1 fragrance of the Good Girl line, because this doesn't remind me of any of them. So do I regret purchasing this? Not at all. Now, what I tell you what I do regret, I regret that I was trying to be very frugal, and with if I got the bigger bottle, because I like my fragrances usually, if I can, to all be the same size. Like all my other Good Girls are 1.7 ounces. So I wish I would have gotten the bigger one because I love it that much. But I love this, and I'm not sad I have it, but I have to keep saying, to me, it is not a true flanker or a good representation of the Good Girl line. So, as a bonus, I've started doing this in a couple of my videos. I'm going to show you what I layered my combo with this when I wore it and received that compliment, and I was smelling good hours later. So I started off in the shower with my pomegranate soap, because like I said, this gives me now I have to take the top off, smell it again. It's a fruitiness to it that I love in this fragrance. So I started with my Go Fresh Pomegranate Dove soap. Love that. And to pair with it, I used the Forever Red body wash and my Dove Pomegranate body wash. That was a great combo. And for moisture, I used my Forever Red lotion. And y'all, I have to say, I am loving Forever Red. I purchased it when it first came out. I don't even remember how many years. It was a square bottle. It was a big release. And I didn't love it. And now I absolutely love Forever Red. And for body oil, I use my very sexy satin body oil from Victoria's Secret, because it goes well with Forever Red. And of course, I topped it off with the Forever Red fragrance mist. And for my deodorant, I just wanted to go ahead and throw this in here. I use my Pomegranate Dove Dry Spray. And I just have to say, I posted on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me. I'm getting a little bit better at being somewhat regular. And y'all, I posted this combination, and I have to tell you, I felt like I smelled good all day. I loved that combination. So you all, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below telling me, have you tried the new Very Good Girl? And tell me what you think. Do you think it's got the DNA of the original Good Girls? Is it a true flanker in that sense? Let me know your thoughts. Please share this video with everyone who loves to look, feel, and smell fabulous all the time. And please turn on your notification bell so you will never miss any of my videos. And you all, I'm trying to reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers at least by October. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you click the subscribe button, and also check to make sure you are still subscribed. Because like I've been saying in a couple of my videos, I've noticed that I've been unsubscribed from channels that I've been subscribed to for a while, and I had to resubscribe. So please check on that. And as I always say, if you like my vibe, subscribe. Until next time, bye.